Welcome back, y'all. If I was about to be buying a high-ass mile ISF like this one, here are a few things that I would inspect before giving the seller my money. If you're looking at buying one of these right now or in the future, we're gonna be doing a maintenance checklist type of thing. If you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, and let's do it. So there's so many important things that we generally need to talk about, especially if you're actually looking at buying one of these. We're gonna start with section 1, which is something I would even do before I even pulled up to see the actual car that you're coming to look at, is you have to ask the seller a bunch of questions, right? Number 1, I would need maintenance records, okay? If you don't have maintenance records, then that means that the car probably passed hands quite a few times. Number 2 would be, when was the last time the spark plugs were changed? Has the transmission ever been serviced? As you guys know, if you let these cars get over 100 something odd thousand miles, probably not a good idea to change the transmission fluid. Everybody has different opinions when it comes to that. They say that the metal shavings that lay at the bottom of the actual transmission pan or whatever, once you change it out, it could completely destroy it. So that's another important one. And those few little things are honestly things that I would consider to be obvious to ask if you're looking at any single car. Let's get into the more hard-hitting ones, because this actually is a make or break, especially if you're trying to buy this from a dealer. Has this car ever been into an accident? Because there's a lot of people that will either show you a clean title, but it actually had a minor accident. Dude, pay the little 99 cents or $10 that it's going to cost you to do that Carfax, so that way you can know, because people will lie to you, and I've been lied to as well. So that's number 1. I'm asking homeboy, listen bro, was this ever in an accident? And the second most hard-hitting question is, why are you selling the car? Everybody has a reason for why they're selling the car, and that's going to give you a lot of insight as to whether or not it's going to be a good car for you to buy. That actually flows over into the third question, is how long did they actually own their ISF or car in general? I know this is more tailored to the ISF, but this is kind of general advice for any single car. How long did they own it? If they have the title and they show it to you, obviously it's going to show it on there. So really try to find out, because if they own this car for about a month, then it's safe to say this is either a flip or they bought it, something went wrong, and they don't want to be stuck with that bill. I doubt you do either. So really important for you to ask. We're not getting into the bottom of the earth kind of depth in this video, but the second thing that I'm going to do is just an overall inspection. Okay, you want to actually just make sure that the paint is not faded. You want to make sure that you don't see anything on the undercarriage rusted, especially if the car originated from up north or something like that. Body work is another really important thing, because sometimes these rear bumpers tend to sag. And I feel like I mentioned this in every single video, but of course, the dreaded valley plate. Where you're gonna see it leaking from is gonna be in the rear or in the side. So you're gonna have like a flashlight or some sort of camera that you can, but make sure that you take off this engine plate cover, because this is going to reveal absolutely everything. If you pull up and you see that this engine bay is already hot, or looks like they've been letting it run, unless you're meeting somewhere, that's also something I'll be careful about. And I wish that there was more I could tell you without putting this up on a lift, but at the end of the day, leaking is the #1 thing that you need to be careful of, especially if you see any pink chalky residue anywhere in this engine bay. It's very similar to this color. That is a big sign that the valley plate is leaking or something is leaking. Here's just a little caveat. Something else that tends to fail on these cars over 200,000 miles is the starter, so make sure to just keep that in mind. We're gonna go over the last section now, which is pretty much gonna be us going in the car, and it's gonna be the test drive portion. Now, we're not gonna actually drive this car for the test drive section, but I'm gonna pretty much give you guys all the pointers and important stuff that you need to know when you actually do test drive it. So number 1, when you start up this car, it's gonna rev very high. Whether you cold start the car or not, it really doesn't matter. The resting RPMs after this thing is fully warmed up should be right under 1,000. I was thinking about showing you this next part, but it really doesn't matter because it's just a video, so you can't really tell what I'm talking about unless you're driving it for yourself. But the steering, dude, this car and the way that the ECU is tuned, it is very tight, mechanical type of feel. So just keep in mind, when you're driving this car straight, it should stay straight. You should be able to literally sit in the driver's seat and take your hands completely off the wheel, and exactly where the car is aimed to, it should stay on that line. If it's pulling anywhere, that's another thing you really need to look out for, because if it's pulling in any direction, that's a telltale sign you either need an alignment or the tires are bad. The third thing you have to keep in mind when you're doing your test drive is the transmission. Yo, it should be shifting butter smooth. You should not be feeling any sort of hesitations or forward, backward jerking motions. If the car was cared for, it should shift like money. My recommendation would be to turn off the AC, turn off the radio, and really listen to the car. If you could find a way to go over some speed bumps, that'd be a really good way to test the suspension. What you want to be on the lookout for is any sort of weird noises after the car kind of rises and settles over that speed bump. Obviously, a lot of ISS aren't unmodified, so if the car is super low, even more reason to kind of just be sure that that suspension's intact, especially if it's an OEM original one. After that, you want to get your ass on the highway. Now listen to me very carefully, especially if you've never driven one of these. I know you're going to want to literally just push it, hear the engine, you're gonna want to go crazy in this whip. But listen, that's not what we're here doing. That's not what I'm here trying to preach to you guys. You can do that later after you know that the car is actually going to get you back home safely. What we're trying to do is make sure that the car is safe for you to drive. So I need y'all to deadass be locked in and try not to be too excited, because bro, it's going to be fun, especially if somebody got this thing modified, which chances are they will. This is going to be the first and last time I say this, y'all. When you go to look at your ISF, keep your eye on the ball, bro. Keep your head in the game, man. Obviously, I'm not assuming that you guys are mechanics or anything like that, but if you hear any sort of rattling or weird noises that sound like coming from the engine, run, bro, because you don't want to pay $10,000 to replace the engine in this car when you could have just literally listened to my video, done a simple check, and at least have the wherewithal to know, like, all right, cool, these are the certain things that I want to be on the lookout for. Ideally, if you could drop this off at a shop, a JDM shop that is familiar with these cars, that's going to be your best bet. Might cost you $300, $400, but what's $400 in the grand scheme of things if you're spending over $20,000 on the actual car itself? This video is specifically for looking for high mileage ones, because at the end of the day, the same thing kind of goes for even low mile ones. Once you get to 160K, 200K, there's certain services that literally stand true. Treat this Lexus book like the Holy Bible, bro, because everything that's in here, as long as you stick to this word by word, I'm telling you, your whip is going to last 500,000 miles like ISF dubs. I haven't been able to post for a little bit because I've been super busy with work. I really hope you like this video. I will be doing my best to make way more. I hope it gives you a little bit more confidence when coming to buy. So make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Be good.